You're listening to your daily politics update from New York. Today's episode, Donald Trump's top 25 lies of 2025. A new detailed analysis looks at how, in just 1 year back in office, President Donald Trump has flooded the public sphere with a steady stream of false claims on the economy, crime, foreign policy, and even basic math. Instead of listing all 25 one by one, this episode breaks down the biggest categories of deception and what they reveal about how this White House communicates. One of the most striking sets of claims centers on the economy, where Trump repeatedly inflated numbers to almost cartoonish levels. He boasted that he had secured $17 trillion and then $18 trillion in new investment for the US in 2025 alone, even though his own administration's figures were under 10 trillion and themselves likely overstated. He also insisted every price is down, claiming there was effectively no inflation, that grocery prices were way down, and that only beef had gone up, even as consumer data showed inflation and rising prices across thousands of items. These statements are not minor spin. Another headline-grabbing category involves Trump's promises on prescription drug prices. He touted his most favored nation policy by saying it would cut drug costs by 500%, 1,000%, or even 3,000%, numbers that are literally impossible, because a price cannot fall by more than 100%. Even when more modest, real-world reductions might have been arguable, Trump leaned instead on mathematically absurd claims that sound dramatic but collapse under basic scrutiny. Fact-checkers note that this pattern, grabbing huge, unrealistic percentages, is a hallmark of his communication style, aimed at creating an emotional impression rather than conveying accurate policy information. The list also highlights Trump's tendency to invent facts about crime and public safety. In one November speech, he claimed Washington, D.C. had gone 6 months without a single murder, even though police data and independent tracking showed more than 50 homicides in that period. Similarly dramatic but misleading narratives have appeared in his rhetoric about cities like Los Angeles, where he described himself as having opened up the water. Some of the most consequential falsehoods involve foreign policy, especially the war between Russia and Ukraine. Trump has suggested that Ukraine started, or could have easily avoided the conflict if it had simply made a deal, flipping the widely documented reality that Russia launched the 2022 invasion and Ukraine has been defending itself. He has also used fabricated stories about US aid, like the baseless claim that Washington planned to spend tens of millions of dollars on condoms for Hamas to justify cuts to foreign assistance, later inflating that imaginary figure to $100 million even after it was debunked. Experts warn that these kinds of lies do more than distort politics. They can warp public understanding of war, diplomacy, and America's role in the world. The analysis of Trump's top 25 lies of 2025 paints a picture of a president who still leans heavily on falsehoods while accusing his critics and the media of being the real liars. For voters, journalists, and everyday citizens, the challenge is the same as ever, separating spectacle from fact and insisting on evidence over theatrics, no matter who sits in the Oval Office. That's today's episode. For more daily political breakdowns like this, follow and share the podcast. See you tomorrow.